So Sean, here's the Essentials window and the Infinity window side by side, both made out of the same material. You can see they're both, the jam depth is pretty much identical here on both windows. The difference is aesthetically when you look at the Essentials window is you don't have as deep a bevel. Everything's direct glaze where the glass is into the sash with Marvin. There's no glazing strip. But on the Infinity, that bevel is just deeper. And part of the reason that that's deeper on the Infinity is to accommodate simulated divided light grid. So you can do this grid where it's on the glass with Infinity. With the Essentials, that grid is in between the glass. They don't have the simulated divided light option, so because that bevel's not deep enough to do that type of grid on the outside. So if you were saying, well, I wanted a simulated divided light grid, well, then that would necessitate Infinity or even Marvin Elevate, the wood fiberglass window that also would have a deeper bevel and a simulated divided light option. But you're spec'd for grid between the glass, which is a standard feature on Essentials. Both windows, if you look at the bottom, it's kind of hard to see when they're set on the ground, but they both have a slope sill built into them so that water is running away from the window. You don't have that kind of weep hole drainage design that they use on both the Anderson 100 series and even like the Pella Impervia windows. On the inside, not much difference there. They'll both have very similar locking mechanism, metal lock, lift handle. Can see the grid a little bit better on the inside there. Even when it's between the glass, Marvin puts nice architectural detail into it, so it's not just a flat piece of metal. The windows both raise and lower with a block and tackle system, so kind of counterbalance, not a spring. But that's kind of a brief summary of what's different on the actually Infinity window. I'll show you this. It's made to look more like a wood window, so it doesn't just have like the deeper bevel, but this kind of almost like a quarter round. And the Essentials, is very more minimalistic on the inside, just like on the outside. Some people prefer one or the other, just their personal taste. If you have a nice view, you can kind of see, the Essentials has the narrower profile. So a little bit more glass, a little bit less frame with the Essentials, especially if you have, double sets where there's 2 windows or 3 windows coming together and they're directly molded.